I'm old enough to remember that when corporations screwed up a patch or something like that and the fan base clearly hated it, they would change it back, and it'd be pretty quick. And you'd sometimes get an apology. Sometimes they'd just do it and just make the players happy. But they used to care about their player bases. I remember the old World of Warcraft days. Sometimes you'd have a bad patch and something would mess something up about the game that everybody loved. Not anymore. Now they just try to gaslight you all the time. And so we have a couple instances where they're trying to force this upon players, even who have the physical media at this point. And they're also out lying about the situation with Stellar Blade. And I'll tell you exactly how the director's lying and how Sony's trying to I don't know what they're thinking. Ridiculous. As the petition's gaining steam to uncensor this game, you'd think they'd just quickly turn this around. Why wouldn't they? What harm would it be for them just allow you to play what you want in your video game? It's ridiculous. Customer's always right. It's like a restaurant, right? You go in and you say, "Hey, can you broil this fish instead of grilling it?" And then if they're a good restaurant, they'll go, "Oh, hold on, let me check with the chef." They come back and they go, "Oh, yes, sir, no problem." And if they're a bad restaurant, they don't cater to you. And then when you get that experience, you just won't come back again. It's so stupid. And this is what Sony's doing. They're really burning bridges with a lot of players, and there's too many alternatives now. You don't need a PlayStation anymore these days. And so people are going to be turning away from these exclusives. I mean, how many exclusives does the PS5 even have that make PlayStation even worth it at this point? There's a lot I can ramble about on this, but we're going to get into the news of this director lying to you and then Sony trying to mess with your physical media as well in just a moment. My name's John Delarose. I am a sci-fi writer, and I try to cater towards my fans, believe it or not. So I try not to put woke stuff in here. These are unfiltered, uncensored books. This is The Stars Entwined. It was my first space opera. And so if you like big sweeping epics like Mass Effect or Babylon 5, you're really going to enjoy this right here. And we've sold a ton of books over the last week, so thank you for coming in so hard to support the channel. Lots of ways you can support what we're doing here. You can become a channel member, which I appreciate. Of course, I have a Subscribe Star, which is basically a Patreon alternative. It helps me create comics and keep my news website going. And of course, I've got the fiction here, which is awesome. And this book has just been chugging along in sales for a while. And we've had a great time, and I really appreciate you. We just got an audiobook done this year of the entire trilogy. So check this out. I'll post this Amazon link directly, but all my other links are in the description, and I appreciate your support, everybody, as we're building alternatives towards these evil corporations. Now, the first part of this story in Stellar Blade today, and I could have made 2 videos about this, really milked it out, but I'm going to compact it all into one. Because there will be more Stellar Blade news tomorrow. Jeez. You'd think it'd end at some point. It's ridiculous. The director responds, and he claims the design was always intended in the final version. And this is a lie, an abject lie. Hyung Tae Kim claimed he always intended the updated, less risque version of the costume to be the final design. Now, this is why I'm going to show you exactly, I'm going to tell you exactly why this is a lie. They don't really, in this article here, talk about this. I'm probably going to have to write my own where I tell the truth about what's going on here because they don't want to make a judgment on this site. But he said in a video that, is there any thinking rolling back the version before the censorship, he was asked. Understandably, we also recognize the issue. However, the final costume we wanted to show you is indeed the costume version in 1.0.0.2. I wanted to clarify this is our final product. However, I know the answer is not enough to convince our users. Yeah, because it's a lie. And there's an internal discussion going on regarding this. I think we'll have an answer to it soon. Well, I hope that means that they're looking at the petition and they're going to be like, you know what, we're going to give the players what we want. We can only hope. But saying this has always been intended this way is kind of what the media always does. You remember the Space Marines controversy for Warhammer 40K and the female custodies that they were putting in, and they changed the lore to say it's always been this way. There's always been female custodies. But the lore never said that. They used to say men. They actually updated the wiki to call them warriors so that it's a non-gendered word to gaslight you. And this is exactly what's been done here. These games have to go into production months ago. And so when you're looking at a physical piece of media like Stellar Blade, the game was done at least 6 to 8 weeks ago. That's the minimum time it would take to print the discs and get them shipped out. That's how it works. And so because of that, we're actually looking at a time this game came out prior towards the Sweet Baby Inc. thing being out into the media and everything. So if they're looking to double down and really push because of a reaction to the Sweet Baby Inc. thing, they would have made this edit after that existed. And that's exactly why it's in a patch and not on this, right? Because they probably saw the deal and the culture war heating up, and they're going to be like, okay, we're going to just tone this down real quick in a patch for the release so that we can get away with this and hope people don't notice. And they were thinking they'd avoid controversy by that because they don't know that most gamers are pro Sweet Baby Inc. detected and anti DEI in their stuff. They just see the controversies from the mainstream media. So it looks to me, because, the physical version was so far back, that any update that they did like right as it releases like this was not some always intended this way kind of thing. This looks like a response that was handed to them by corporate. I think Sony's feeling the heat, and they're saying, you know what, we're losing subscribers to our PlayStation Plus. It's can you make us a statement real quick? And the director, as a matter of honor, did so, right? That's what it looks like on this front. But there is no honor among thieves in these corporations, and this is exactly why you should go to physical media generally. And that's what a lot of people have been saying is you just get the disc. But it gets worse as Sony now has again altered the deal and made it worse for gamers once again. This is crazy. I've never seen anything like this. But it's been revealed today that the game in physical format does not start if you have your console connected to the internet. You must install it offline, unlike other single-player games. So let's unpack this real quick. So if you are connected to the internet, it senses that Stellar Blade is in there, and the network says you have a patch, you have to update this in order to start the game. So you're forced to censor the game if you're connected to the internet. Because that's how it notices it. If your PlayStation's not online, then you can download it and play the game without the patch. So literally, they did make a quick alteration because people were playing the physical media to force you to play the censored version. This is crazy. I've never seen anything like this. I don't want to imagine the interest behind the censorship of a work. They always say it's not a big deal. And that's the other thing the SJWs are saying right now. It's not a big deal. What's the big deal about like a little bit of an outfit? Well, if it wasn't a big deal, then why is PlayStation making it so difficult for you to just play the unaltered version? What the heck's happening here? Absolutely crazy stuff right here. This is when the patch is marked as mandatory. So this patch is marked mandatory. Stellar Blade is by no means the only game that does this. It's usually not done for censorship, but to make people install patches. And Sony, 4 years ago, here we go, literally told customers, we will never do this. Here it is. PS5 won't force customers to update offline games. So a corporation lied directly to the customers' faces years ago. They said, you know what, we're not going to do this to people. And now that their weird DEI stuff's happening to where they're trying to remove beauty from games, remove anything that you just enjoy from game, any cheesecake, for their little culture warrior censors out there in the feminazi armies who don't play these games at all. It's stupid. They're going to renege on their own promises to you. Absolutely crazy stuff. So this is wild. So make sure if you are installing your Stellar Blade game that you do so offline so that you're not forced to get an update right away to censor the game. Crazy stuff. Now, this petition's gaining a lot of steam from Mark Kern to free Stellar Blade. Look at this now. We've got 47,900 signatures out of 50,000. I'm going to put this link in the description below so you can sign on here. Asmongold, actually, this morning just signal boosted this on his channel. He's got such a huge video game channel. That's going to do a lot. Look, there's 12,000 new people today. This is gaining a lot of steam, and it's not going the way Sony thinks it is. So very simple. I mean, honestly, like mistakes happen. When you try to cover them up, corporations, they just get worse, right? It's always worse when you lie about a situation rather than just doing something and going, you know what, mea culpa, we edited this, we were stupid, we're going to give you your game the way you want it. You can play it either way. Here you go. It's not that hard, you'd think. If it wasn't a big deal, that's what they do. But it is a big deal. This is intentional to try to gaslight you and to sit you in a spot where it was always intended this way, so that they can convince you to just buy product, consume more product, no matter what we put in it, no matter how far it goes. You just consume, and it's about control of your mind. It is. There's a war on for your mind. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure to check out the Stars Entwined. We got ebooks, we got print books, we got audiobooks, and this whole series. There's a whole trilogy, and it really, really I picks up in the second volume. If you've read the first one, oh my gosh, I could rant about this, but I'll do it in another video. I'll see you guys.